Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Daria Gafferpour here once again for another edition of Friday Night Live. And welcome back. I am here outdoors again, loving the sunshine. And I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping and the birds singing and that fast car driving by. Anyway, it just feels so good to be out in the sunshine and in the fresh air and in the greenery. And California is getting green, 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 green. If you've had a look at any of those satellite photos from outer space comparing March 2017 to, droughted January 2014, it's pretty stark the difference that you see, where the land looks so brown back a few years ago, and now all of California looks mostly green, and then the white caps on the Sierra Mountains with the snow. It's really, really awesome. So I'm feeling good, and I'm glad you're joining me again. And I know this is one of those cardinal sins to not, do video or, when you're kind of staring straight into the sun. But I kind of don't care right now because it just feels good to have this on my face. So, you hear me talking a lot about staying positive and in the midst of what might seem like negative things happening. And so I've got some stories to tell. Well, you know that. I tend to talk a lot here. So this might be another longer one just because there's been a lot of activity and it might even seem like a lot of activity, especially because of daylight savings time. And man, losing that 1 hour, boy, I think that caused a lot of grumpy pants all over the place. Here in the U.S. anyway. We need our sleep. So I think that made things extra challenging this week, for me anyway. And so I'm going to tell you a bit about what's been going on. Sunday in the middle of the night, I was awoken by the San Rafael Fire Department to let me know that the building, that there was a fire right outside of my office. So someone had sent the, not the garbage dumpsters, but the recycling bins on fire. And that was propped up against our building, and so my area of the office burned on the outside. External damage, thankfully. There's always a silver lining, and that's part of what has been my practice this week, is paying attention to what the silver lining is. And so for that reason, I'm going to don my rose-colored glasses because the sun is bright. And because this is how I choose to go through my week. I would much rather see my world through rose-colored glasses, than as believing that things are really awful going on. And that was a stressful call to have received, to have woken up in the middle of the night. I had already gone to sleep late. I was already really tired. And I knew that I was going to have 1 hour less to sleep. And then there I was wired. I couldn't get back to sleep for a while because of this news. And I had to remind myself, well, thankfully they told me you don't need to come in right now because it was external. They confirmed it wasn't inside the office. But I spent a good 6 hours at the office on Sunday, and that was after having worked all day on Saturday. And so I had to pull myself out of, don't get self-piteous, just because you have to go into work on Sunday. It was my choice. I wanted to just inspect. I wanted to make sure that things were okay in there, and thankfully they really were. And then I really wanted to just straighten up the place, and the fire kind of spurred me into a cleanup mode, like spring cleaning, big time, and it was excellent. It had been looming over my shoulder here, and weighing on me that you really need to clean up. You got to do your shredding. You got to get recycling out there. You got to get more organized, and so there's one bit of silver lining, right? Is because it forced me to, well, it didn't force me, it pushed me into action. And something about that fire energy that gets you going, and it did. And what was really great is that one of my sisters was, nearby and offered to come and help. And so she and a friend came by, and that was so great. I felt really supported. And they just offered everything that I needed. What do you need? What can we do? What can we do to help? And even when I couldn't think of what it was, they came up with the answers to help me out. And so I love that. I really appreciate that. And I don't take that lightly, and I don't oversee that. And so I'm sharing this part of the story just because even though it felt like a drag to come in, it didn't take much for me to realize how lucky I am, and how lucky everyone in the building is, that no one was present, no one got hurt as far as I know, and our businesses are safe, my livelihood is safe, right? My patients can still come to see me. My equipment is in good shape. If you're just joining me, I was just talking about a fire that happened outside my office now about 5 nights ago. And so I'm just counting my blessings, it's, yeah, thumbs up, I agree. It's a big deal that everything turned out okay and is being taken care of. And it's a big deal for me to recognize when I'm being supported. And right now you're listening to fire engines nearby. Oh, look how else I'm lucky. The firehouse is really just a few blocks away from me. And right now I'm sending blessings to those people who are being affected. For whatever reason, sirens are moving because somebody needs them. And somebody called the fire department because they saw that we were in need, the bins being on fire. So someone reported that, and thankfully the firefighters put it out. So my long story continues. So that was segment 1, being thankful for people being supportive of me and showing up, and thankful that I have an ability to recognize the silver lining, to see my life through rose-colored glasses, because it feels so much better that way. And I think that it's really easy to get defeatist and to feel like, oh wow, horrible things are happening. Look, the outside of my office is burned, And it's just so easy to turn that around and just go, holy cow, all that happened is that it smells bad in here. But I can still operate my business, and no one was hurt. So meanwhile, we're kind of scrambling and trying to figure through, what do you do when your office smells like smoke? What do you do? How do you get rid of that? And I'd had the doors open to ventilate for 6 hours on Sunday, and of course that didn't do it. It was, burned plastic. The recycling bins had paper and plastic in them, and then the plastic bins themselves burned. And then there was all that debris that was still outside that hadn't been cleaned up. And it felt really toxic out there. Like I felt headachy just standing around there to observe what was going on. And then my private office is the one that got burned on the outside. So that's a teeny tiny little office where if I reach my arms out, one finger can touch one wall and the other one touches the other. That's how narrow it is. And that just smelled really horrible. Hi, Kevin. Yes. See, this is my point. I'm demonstrating having rose-colored glasses. So nice to see you here, Kevin. I've been thinking about you. I lost my train of thought, but it was toxic. So there I need to be inside my office to operate to some extent. And every time I would get real headachy. And so the few days go on into the week, and so we work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I teach on Thursdays. So Wednesday, it still smells, and thankfully the weather was nice. We could keep the doors open, and no one seemed to be much bothered. We kept the candles burning. And then, wouldn't you know, because I'd been going, gosh, when is that? Because the insurance agent came out on Thursday to inspect and said, oh yeah, a company's going to come and we can put an air scrubber, she called it. Well, we didn't hear anything. And then later at the end of the day, they said, yeah, how about in the afternoon tomorrow, which would have been Wednesday. And I was like, great, no problem. That was fantastic. And we didn't hear anything. I'd asked, can you call us and let us know? Didn't hear anything. And one thing I learned is that you got to stay on top of things. So I called 3 times, I think. And finally, they said, well, the machine's not going to be available until tomorrow. Okay. So I'm telling you this story when, wouldn't you know it, but my second to the last patient of the day on Wednesday, lovely, lovely, lovely person. We all love her. I think you probably hear us say that a lot about our patients. We love them. But I hope you all feel special because it's true. Oh, she's none other than Chris Emmons, lieutenant of the San Francisco Fire Department. Now, she doesn't mind me saying this because I asked her, I made sure it's okay that I reveal her identity because she's so awesome. And so she comes in, and of course she recognizes the smell because this is her business, this is what she does, and she smells burned plastic. And anyway, I brought her into that office, and she's like, oh, this is bad, this is not good for you shouldn't be smelling. So I was like, I know, we're still waiting for them to send us whatever it takes to get rid of it. And just her attitude of, one, wanting to be helpful, but two, kind of getting a little indignant on my behalf, just in our conversation anyway, it kind of lit a fire for us, pun intended, to just take action, to start making some more phone calls and insisting that we get the proper equipment out there, because it's not safe to be breathing that long term. And for the people who are coming in, filtering in and out of our office for anywhere, from a half hour to an hour and a half or so, it's not going to be detrimental to them so much as because we have the doors open, but to those of us who are in it all day long, right? So then she goes, oh, what does it look like outside? And I take her to the back, and she's just like, it's a mess out here. I was like, I know it is. She's like, they didn't clean that up for you? I was like, who? Like, the people are supposed to come clean it up. I don't know. She's like, I'll clean it up for you. I'm like, no. You're here for your appointment. We're going to take care of you. She's like, I'll clean that up. Do you have a broom? Well, of course, I just have a little broom to clean the inside of the office. I don't have the whatever kind of big business broom. The big witch broom, right? That you need to clean the outside stuff. She goes, I'll go to the fire department. And, oh, no. She tells us to call the fire department. And she tells us about off-gassing and, use the right lingo so that they'll hear you and they'll come. Hey, Debbie. Debbie, you've heard this. No, you didn't hear all of the story, Debbie. This is how more support comes my way. You heard about my sister showing up and our friend coming to help and just, hey, Lana, yeah, these are, Lana, my rose-colored glasses, all right? I'm demonstrating the need to see the silver lining and and look at life through rose-colored glasses. So anyway, so she says, yeah, you got to get them to come out, and we find out that they won't come out because it's private property. And then we're like, okay, we'll call the landlady and she'll get the right people out. And she was just really exhausted from all of this too. I'm sure she was just dealing with a whole lot more people than I was with the whole mess. And she kind of just, checked out there. And so it was like, all right, let's keep thinking. What are we going to do? So now we're approaching 5 o'clock, and I saw the next patient, and it's not the easiest thing to run your business while you're in the background trying to take care of things like, oh yeah, making sure that you get taken care of when part of your office is on fire, has been on fire. And so I think we did a pretty good job of maintaining relatively calm and not too dramatic. But it's approaching 5 o'clock, and I knew that I need to visit my neighbors to check to make sure that they would be able to take the key and let the proper people in the next day when I wasn't going to be there, to blah, 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 taking care of business, right? So I'm upstairs talking with our awesome upstairs neighbors, and I hear this shoveling going on outside. So Chris goes to the fire department, and she asks to borrow their shovel, and she comes back to my office, and she's cleaning up the mess for us. I mean, how amazing is that? Just how cool is that? And for her, she says, well, it's nothing, and I know what she means. It's like, if something's your area of expertise, or if you can offer help in some way and you see someone needs it, of course you want to help out because you're a good person and you're friendly, you're a friend, you care, and I think that a lot of us are in that position, and maybe we don't realize how we can help other people. But we do, we'll step up when the time comes. And anyway, I'm just really super appreciative that she was there for us. But so the other part of that story that I wanted to point out is, oh, puppy's coming my way. The other part of the story that I wanted to point out is that what are the odds that 3 days after a fire happens and when action hasn't been taken to clean up around the fire, what are the odds that the lieutenant of the San Francisco Fire Department is going to be sitting in your dental chair, to take care of things and to help make sure that things get taken care of? I mean, even if she hadn't been amazing and just really went above and beyond and physically cleaned up what I was afraid to do, I'm like, I don't know how to handle fire damage. And I don't want to mess myself up, you know, but that's her area of expertise, and to her, she knows what she's doing, and she handled it, right? But the fact is that I don't believe that there was any accident. That it's right at the time where it's like, you should be getting a little upset, and even if you don't feel upset, like, you need to start speaking more sternly to people so they understand that it's important that they send people your way for your safety and for your patient's safety. Like, you need to bring some reality into the light for the people whose job it is to clean up after a disaster. And so she was there for me, and she was there for us. And I think that it was no mistake that her appointment was scheduled on that day. Like, what if she was scheduled on Monday, the day after it happened? You know, even the insurance agent hadn't been out just yet, and it would have been like, oh yeah, the right people will come and take care of things. But no, she came on a day when it was like a few days had passed, and it's like, why aren't things being taken care of? They really should be. And so she was there for me, because I didn't have that in myself to know. Like, I've never experienced a fire, and so and again, for those of you who are joining, I mean, no one was hurt, and everything really is okay if you consider that it's external damage to the building, something that's repairable. And, you know, I mean, that's a blessing. That's a really big blessing. And so here I am in my rose-colored glasses, wanting to let you know that it's super important to practice asking yourself, where's the silver lining? Where is the good that's happening here? What good people are surrounding me? And what good things are happening that are evidence that things are going my way? That's evidence that things are okay. You know, I feel like I was really protected, because at first I was just like, oh my God, you know, a fire happened. The buildings were, you know, and it's like, the first thing when you're in the middle of the night and you're waking up and you're trying to hold a conversation with a police officer, you're not thinking too well, and it's just like, I want to go back to sleep. Why are you waking me up? And then it becomes, oh my God, like, everything's okay. No one was hurt, and my livelihood is protected. My office is protected. You know, people who have gotten flooded and their businesses got flooded and they couldn't operate. That wasn't me, you know, and the fire happened outside, and I'm not hurt, you know, and we still thrived this week. And not only did the business thrive, but I feel like I've thrived because of the supportive people around me. So the people who have stepped up and shown themselves to me and have helped me, whether it's in phone conversations or physically been there, or, you know, helped out facilitating phone calls to help make things happen. Yeah, I feel like I'm very blessed. Kevin says, you never know who will come to save you at the time you need the help the most. Just trusting the process. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not perfect at this stuff, and I think I've mentioned before that doing these videos on Friday evenings, they help me. Like, I believe, and I can tell you that it's helped other people because they've approached me and told me so. And so I'm not making that up. Like, I know that I've helped other people, but it helps me to do this because it puts me in line, and I put myself in the frequency of understanding that all is well, and that the world is a good place, and that there are good people around, and I'm hoping that I can help you do the same. And believe me, I've had a rough week in more ways than I've just mentioned to you, and still got myself going. And even though the body hurts physically because, like, you've been cleaning and moving and doing all sorts of things that you need to do, and then having trouble sleeping, you know, from worry, like, I'm human, that sort of thing happens to me. Then Debbie says, such clarity through your rose-colored glasses, I'll put them back on. Hi, Lisa, I'll put these on for you. You are amazing. She said, you helped me so much. And we talked right after this happened. Oh my God, I know. Yes, Lisa and I were meant to speak. We spoke. We were having a Skype call, no, a Zoom call on Sunday morning. That was the plan. Yeah, that was the plan. And so, and I go, okay, I hardly got any sleep, but I really want to talk with Lisa. We haven't connected in a while, and it felt very important that we did that, right, Lisa? And I go to make my coffee, and like everything went wrong, you know, like burning hot coffee, because I put it in this blender, like I do like my version of that bulletproof coffee with the coconut oil, and I forget the abbreviation for that special kind of oil that's good for your brain. And butter and stuff, and so you're supposed to mix that up. And so I put it in a container to tighten on the lid so I can turn it upside down and put it on the blender. And I turn it upside down, and burning hot coffee sprays all over the place. It's burned me. It's like, and I was like, oh my God, like, really? Is this how my Sunday is starting? Fire at the office, burning coffee all over the place. Now I'm gonna be late for Lisa. That was what my concern was. Now I'm going to be late for Lisa. Anyway, it was really helpful to talk to her. It was, oh, there I go. It was really nice to talk. So one more supportive person in my world, and so I keep mentioning supportive people and finding evidence of support happening around me, because I'd like for you to consider that possibility in your life, and I need to keep reminding myself of that. Yeah. Thanks, Debbie. I love you too. I have to keep reminding myself of that, because other things go on in my world that it's like another one of those. That looks funny. There's my Bluetooth there. Yeah, you don't have to see it if I do this. You know, that is just like, really? This too? Really? And then I'm tempted to just go, why aren't things working out for me? You know? And you are so amazing. Thank you. Thanks, my friend. It takes practice, right? Like, thank you for saying that. I accept your compliment. It feels good. And there are times that I need to be kind to myself and let myself accept compliments, you know, because it's very easy to brush that off and just go, yeah, I know, it's what I do. It's, you know, we're just chugging along. You just live your life the way that you do, you know, best. And it's true, and it's important to live our life to the best ability that we can. And those are values that I hold with me, and that I do my best. And I like surrounding myself with people who do their best too. And I feel like that's an accomplishment. And everyone who's joining me right now, I believe that you are people who are really good people and loving people and kind people, and that's why you're here. So it's on purpose. I do this on purpose. And I'm saying these words on purpose. Not because I'm trying to convince myself, but because I want to practice showing myself that everything is okay and continues to be okay. Lisa says, I so appreciated you keeping our call. Did you find the gasket for the blender before the cat got it? Okay, so why did the coffee splurt out everywhere, burning hot? Because I told her the details of this story. I have one of those Black & Decker thingies. It's with the red base and the long plastic container, and there's a little blade thing that you connect at the one end, and the thing where the blade spins around, and I'd washed that, and there's this little, it's about that big, this gray gasket, it's like an O-ring, a rubber O-ring, and it had come out when I washed it. So I put it inside, and this was the thing. Okay, I push the gasket inside, turn the lid on, tighten it, turn it upside down, and so I was telling this story to Lisa, and I'm just like, I swear, I know, I put that gasket on because I told myself, it's time. Chris says, watching you makes me happy. Oh, thanks. That's our fire lieutenant who just commented. That's so sweet. I think she just sent me a private message. Lisa says, I so appreciate it. Oh, so I was telling her, I was just like, okay, so if everything keeps going the way that it's showing up, fire at my office, burning hot coffee everywhere. Oh, next thing you know, the cat's gonna find the rubber gasket and he's gonna eat it, and that's gonna be another $400 or $500 emergency visit for him, you know. Yeah, so I've learned there's no rubber bands allowed in the house. That was, I think that was about a $500 lesson that time. This is my precious cat who was meant to be, well, anyway, that's another story. My precious cat is another story. My special needs kitty who's been around with me for over 12 or 13 years, I think. Kevin says, stop being such a hot dentist, putting fire everywhere. Hey, Mike. Those are your new Dr. Awesome. Oh, did you see them? Yeah. I think you must have seen them. Yep. Yeah, Mike calls me Dr. Awesome. Okay, but it's not so sunny anymore. Yeah, you recognize this place, Mike? Look, do you recognize? Mike did a photo shoot for me, like those pictures that you see on my YouTube channel and the ones that you see on my Facebook page. Mike did that, so that's awesome, Mike Wolpert. If you ever need professional photography, he's really great, and he's local here in the Bay Area, but he's been known to travel. Anyway, so you guys are so great. I'm just seeing thumbs up flying everywhere and hearts, and that's warming my heart. So what a great way for me to spend Friday evening, I have to say again. And so once again, because you guys are still here, so I'll keep going if you want me to keep going. If you've been tired of it already, then I'll shut my trap and close it off, and we can do this another time. But what I'm practicing is finding the positive everywhere. So even when things feel and seem like they're going wrong, I do my best to be open to seeing what's right. And I believe that because I've practiced doing that this week, that's how it was that Chris had her appointment, you know, when she did. That's how it was that she felt inspired to help me out and to go groveling to the local fire department and get them to loan her their, or lend, how do you say that? Their shovel, you know, so that she can do me the favor of, and she didn't just do me the favor, but she wanted to do something nice for me. But she did a favor for everybody. I mean, yeah, my landlady who was just like shutting down, and she's like, I'm going away this weekend. I didn't speak to her myself, but that was kind of the message, like, done with this for now. And I understand personal limitations, you know, like sometimes we do just have to shut the switch off and just say, sorry, not available, can't do anymore. And just couldn't bring herself to the point of making something happen fast enough for me, because it's my office that's out there and the smell was coming into my office, you know. So there was Chris, you know. Thanks to the San Francisco Fire Department helping us out here in San Rafael. So, you know, that's just part of what I'm getting at, is that I really strongly believe that when we let ourselves find the good in what's going on around us, we find more good things. It just keeps on mirroring itself, and it keeps on expanding because of the attention that we're focusing on it. So let's see. Lisa says, love that, being open to seeing what's right. Yeah, and again, it takes practice. It's so easy to get wrapped up in all the negative stuff that's going on. It's very easy to do that, and that's why I don't have TV at home. I have a TV, but I choose what I watch on it. You know, it's like I'll do Netflix or Hulu or Amazon, and if it seems too violent or too down or too negative, and I don't want to put myself in that space, then I'll change it or turn it off. You know, I don't have a newscaster jumping in my living room shouting out negative news whenever they can. Any 6-second spot or 30-second spot that they can jump in and tell you something that's bad, that's wrong, that's going in the world, I don't have to do that. It's by choice. Believe me, Comcast has tried me so many times. Oh, and they've told me, oh, it's less expensive for you to pay for TV and your internet and your telephone. And I recognize that I am paying more money by not having cable television. It's a choice, because I don't want to have all that negativity. There's enough going on, and sometimes I shut off Facebook because I see a lot of negativity, and I just go, yeah, I don't think I want to welcome that in right now. And then I challenge myself, and I do something like this, like my Friday Night Live. So what I'm hoping to do is to send out positivity through the Facebook channels and through the YouTube space and through the internet, and however it is that you're finding me. I'm glad that you're here. So I think I will start to wrap it up. It's been fun, you guys. Thanks for your comments and for your participation. I really enjoyed that, and it's a fun way for me to spend Friday evening, and I feel the love. So thanks for your support. And if you haven't already, I'd love it if you like my page and share this video, or share my page to others. I recently was told by someone, well, what do you mean by that? I was like, what do you mean, what do I mean? What do I mean by what? how do you share? What do you mean share? You always say that, share. And I'm like, oh, I was once a Facebook newbie. And I'm still kind of new to YouTube. So look at the bottom of my video or my post and you'll see something that says share. And you can share it to your timeline, or you could send someone a private message if you don't want everyone else to see what you're watching or what you're paying attention to. And then that person via Messenger can see. They can click on the link to this video, or if you send them to my Facebook page, they can like that. And that means that they'll be more likely to see notifications and, you know, posts that I put up or when I'm doing my live video. And the same thing with YouTube is if you subscribe, then theoretically you'll get notifications of when another posting comes up. So it might be quite a bit later tonight that I put it on YouTube, but usually it's within 24 hours I'll show it there. And Mike, that's the extent of my social media. Woo, my battery is almost done. All right, I'm gonna say goodnight now. Thanks everybody, love you, bye.